Hey everybody, we're back for another Acceptable Casualties battle report. Today we have myself and Jeff. We got Fallschirmjagers against Lorried rifles playing in counterattack. We'll be back in a second to go over the list and deployment. So here we have 1,500 points of Guards Lorried rifles. We have the 1IC, 2IC down here. 2 platoons of Lorried rifles with the P-op mortars sitting in the back over there. We have the AOP observer. We got a platoon of 25 pounders, and then we have 2 platoons of 2 Shermans and 2 Fireflies. Altogether 1,500 points. We'll be back in a second to go over the Fallschirmjagers. So here we have our 1,500 points of Fallschirmjager. Down here we have the 1IC, 2IC. Above them we have 2 9-man platoons of Jaegers with the Panzerfaust SMG upgrade for the 2 command teams. Over here we have 3 Panzerfaust trap teams. We have a platoon of MG42s. Back here we have a platoon of heavy mortars with an observer. Over here we have a platoon of PaK 40s. We have a platoon of the Flakkervings, a platoon of the LG40s, and we have 1 lone Jag Panther. All together, it's 1,500 points. We'll be back in a second to go over deployment. All right, everybody, we're back for deployment here. I'll go over the Jaegers first, but we'll do the objectives right now. So down here, Jeff placed his objective over here on this corner of the table, down here between the woods and those wheat fields. I placed mine in between the river here, the woods, and the vineyard on this side. For my deployment, I decided to take both units of the Fallschirmjager. I have them dug in on the ground, set up over here. I have my observer up over there, and then in reserve for ambush, I have the PaK 40s, and then I also have the trap teams that are able to pop in ambush. So that's what I'm looking at right now for my points. In reserve, I have the Flak Veerlings, the LG40s, the Jag Panther, and the mortars. Back up here for Jeff, he deployed his 25 pounders over there in the woods, which is awesome now for all you guys that are looking to be able to place your artillery now. It's almost like a no-brainer at this point. He has his Lorried rifles on top of a tank platoon over there. He has another Lorried rifle platoon. They're just on foot, right? And nobody on those tanks over there. And his 1IC and 2IC are right there. We're just going to play it right now. Jeff and I were talking about it, the way the rules are set. If you get hit with 1 shot on a tank, obviously all your tank riders have to make a save. But if you pass it off, if you get a second one, do you take another round of saves? And also, if somebody shoots a machine gun at a tank, do all the tank riders, even though the tank can't be hurt by it, do all the tank riders still also have to take a save? So these are just a couple questions that we're going to go with, and we'll just figure it out as we play. But I'm curious to see what you guys think, and as far as how you guys interpret the rules. So we'll be back in a second for top of turn 1 for the Brits, see how this thing plays out. So we are back here for the top of turn 1 for the Brits. Pretty good turn over here as far as getting things set up for Jeff. Over here, he pushed the platoon of Lorried rifles on the back of the tanks, in between the gaps of those trees, and lined them up here on the back edge of this hill over here. Up on this side, he did a dash move with the Lorried rifles and pushed them up, was it 12 inches, right?
Yep.
Yeah, 12 over here with his dash move. And then over here with a move order and a cross-country drive, he was able to get the Fireflies up onto the ridge of that hill over there. In the shooting phase, nobody fired anything except for the 25 pounders back over here. Jeff was able to range in right on this side because he had the AOP on the table. He was able to get 8 hits. I think 3 or 4, 4 went through. I made 3 saves, and then he failed his firepower on 1, but the ranging marker is right there on top of the CO, and these guys are pinned. So we'll be back in a second for the bottom of turn 1 for the Germans and see how this plays out. So we are back for the bottom of turn 1 for the Fallschirmjagers. A pretty decent turn for us right here. Down here, I failed to unpin, and I also failed to unpin with the reroll. I also failed on my blitz move, so I just ended up moving. The unit is still pinned, but since I didn't move toward a unit, then I still assumed, it didn't say anything that you can't do that, so I just ended up moving those guys over there, but the unit is still pinned. Up over here, I ended up popping my ambush for the PaK 40s. I moved my observer up into the house here in the middle of the crossroads. I also popped the ambush, like I said, for PaK 40s. I popped the ambush for one of my Panzerfaust trap teams, and then there was another one that I popped over here. In the shooting phase, I missed my shot, and then I got killed in assault with this trap team. That's all really happened on this side of the table. Down here, I fired 2 PaK 40s in. Jeff returned the horrible dice. If you guys could have seen these dice rolls, I think combined 1s and 2s, he must have rolled like 15 or 20 by now. So both tanks got blown up, and then Jeff failed every single save for all of the riders on both of those tanks. So it was like 6 1s and 2s combined for all of that. Back over here in the shooting phase, I fired one shot into the back of this tank, and I totally missed, and then I opted not to assault with those guys and just keep them dug in bulletproof cover for where they're at. So that's what we're looking at right now for bottom of turn 1. Got top of turn 2 coming up. Be back in a flash. So we are back for top of turn 2 for the Brits. In this turn, Jeff dismounted his Lorried rifles, pushed them up along the hillside over here, and then scurried up his Shermans that are over here. They ended up firing down, and they didn't pin, but then they killed the Faust team over here in assaults. Back over here, he ranged in with the 25-pounders over there. He was able to get one hit, and I failed my save, so he ended up plucking them out with firepower test. Up over here, the Lorried rifles moved into this building, and I think all along the walls right there. Back over here, he got the one Sherman and one Firefly along that tree line to fire machine gun fire down here. He got 3 hits, but I was able to make 3 saves and keep these guys in. But like I said, the unit is still pinned. These guys are also pinned. We'll be back in a second for bottom of turn 2. See if I can get some reserves on the table. We'll be back in a flash. So we are back here for the bottom of turn number 2. I was able to unpin these guys. These guys stayed pinned over here. I did not get any reserve rolls, and then I popped my one Faust team up over here. So in the movement phase, I was able to get a blitz move off with these guys, and then with my second stormtrooper move, I decided to try to dig in, but I ended up failing that. So these guys are just kind of hanging out right here. Back over here, these guys did not move. Nobody else really moved. In the besides the 1IC and 2IC, I apologize. 1IC and 2IC, I did move up behind these guys. Up over here, the trap team was able to fire and sidearm over there. I got a hit, got a bail, but I elected to kind of stay in here and not do the assault just because I don't think it was going to end very well. And that's pretty much all that happened for shooting. I didn't have any shooting over here with the Pack 40s. They're kind of just sitting still right now. So I'm really just waiting for reserves at this point. So it's Jeff's table, top of turn 3. Let's kind of see what happens. Be back in a flash. So we are back for the top of turn 3 for the Brits. In this turn, Jeff moved up all his guys for the Lorried rifle platoon that are left over on top of the hill. His Shermans are tucked around over here. He made a push up with his other Sherman platoon on this side, and then his other Lorried rifles, they made a move over to here. They were able to shoot, assault, and kill the Panzerfaust trap team that's sitting there. The Firefly is still bailed out on that side. Other things in the shooting phase, you had all the tanks down here. I think it was 11 shots, went into the Jaeger platoon down here. I think Jeff killed 2 of the bases and was able to pin the unit. Up over here, between machine gun fire from the Lorried rifles, machine gun fire from the tanks, and then the bombardment up there from the 25s. 2 bases got peeled off down here. The way we played it, I was able to pass off wounds, but pass them off to somebody outside of the template. But since it's still ranged in and it is the whole unit, we still play that as a re-roll the saves. It just made sense. I'm pretty sure that's how it goes, but like I said, you guys can either confirm or deny that down in the comments section. That's pretty much all that happened here for the top of turn 3. We'll be back in a second for bottom turn 3 for the Germans. We are back here for the bottom of turn 3. In this turn, we were able to get in the lone Jag Panther up over here for my reserves. Nobody else came in. Over here, we opted to move and push everybody up into the wheat fields. I moved the 1IC and 2IC down over here. Up over here, I kept these guys still, and the Pack 40s also stayed still. In the shooting phase between the Pack 40s and all the machine gun and rifle fire down here, I was able to get 9 hits up there on Jeff, and he made 8 out of 9 saves, so these guys are still barely in good spirits on that side. Down over here, same thing. I had a bunch of dice to throw into these guys. I got 3 hits. He made all of his saves here, wasn't able to get the pin, so I decided not to get the assault. Up here with the Jag Panther, also terrible dice. I got the hit, forced the double bail because I missed my firepower, so that Firefly is still sitting, looking okay back there. Good thing is the game can't be won until turn 6, so maybe we can hang in there and turn this thing around, but we'll see how it plays out. So we'll be back in a second for top of turn 4. So we are back for the top of 4 for the Brits. It's a mixed bag, and this one's got pretty bloody over here. Between the machine gun shooting from this platoon, they opted to go to ground up there, but they failed to dig in and unpin. Back over there, you had the 25-pounders. And then in other movement, you had the Shermans kind of move around to get a better shot on the Jag Panther. and then the other 2 Shermans pushed down over here, got in position for assaults, as well as the rifle team. I guess we'll start over here between the machine guns, between the Shermans and the 2 Shermans and the rifle platoon over here. They were able to pin, and I think it was kill 1 base or 2 bases in the shoot. You kill both 42s, right? In the shooting phase. And then during assaults, the tanks went in first. I was able to blow one up. And then the other one ended up just falling back. Jeff decided not to push in any deeper with it. And then when the rifle team assaulted, they ended up getting, I had 5 dice in defense, and I got 4 5s and a 6. So miraculously, that got beat back. So they're pinned as well. Up here, the 2 Fireflies, between them, they had 3 shots at the Yak Panther, and it was 3 misses, luckily. Over here, like I said, the machine gun fire and everything, between that and the mortars, they were able to pin this unit. Jeff assaulted with the Shermans, was able to kill 1 base. I fell back with my other back across the river instead of countercharging. That's pretty much all that happened here, top of turn 4. Be back in the second for bottom of turn 4 for the Jaegers. I got 4 reserve dice. Maybe we'll get 1 in. The way the dice are going, I don't even know if that's guaranteed at this point. So there's no guaranteed reserve. So we'll see how it goes. Be back in a flash. We're back for the bottom of turn 4. Pretty good turnout here for the Jaegers. So in the movement phase, I opted to just dig in my Jaegers over here on this side. Our reserves, I got everybody. I rolled 3 5s in the list, so everybody came in on this side. The Yak Panther, I also moved with a shoot and scoop because I did not move when I fired. I'll just do this side of the table and we'll go back to the other side because nobody moved over there. With the Yak Panther, I got 2 hits, so I was able to blow up both of the Fireflies over here. Down here with the Faust, I ended up missing over there. I had 4 hits with the machine gun rifle teams over here. I got, 4, all on the command teams because Jeff ended up failing to pass it off, and then he passed all the saves on top of it. So that ended up being a wash. They were pinned from before, so nothing didn't really happen. Nothing big over there with that. Down here, I had a whole bunch of machine gun fire go up into that unit on the hill over there. I was able to kill 1 base, and then Jeff made his other save for the other one. So there's still 3 bases in good spirits. So that's working out pretty good over there. And then down here, I did I just ended up going to ground. I didn't have a shot. I could have fired at the guys on the hill, but I think I'm just gonna hold these guys back to see what those Shermans end up doing. So this is what we're looking at right now. Jeff has to do a roll for the Shermans because they are not motivated right now to stay in the fight. And I think that's the only one you have to do, right? So yeah, if you want to roll on camera, Jeff, we can just do it right now.
Let's see if I unpin my infantry first. They do not unpin. So if I re-rolled that one, I can't re-roll it for those.
Exactly, yeah. You gonna re-roll for the Sherman?
Yeah, I'm gonna hang on to the re-roll for the Shermans. So the Shermans pass the last stand test on a 3.
Oh, that's right, guards. Yep, guards roll.
That's the unflappable. Good thing I
good thing you saved that roll, man. Yeah, they're good.
Okay.
They got the eye. So the eye of the tiger. They're still in the fight. So we'll be back top of turn 5 for the guards. See how this thing keeps going. So we are back at the top of turn 5. Some chances were taken here. For this turn, like you said, I saw Jeff was unable to unpin these guys, so he had to just dig in and got on the ground right there. He couldn't even really move anywhere because there's a unit here, somebody within the range over there, and then I have the observer up in that building. So as far as retreating back, there's really no viable option to really do it at this point. Over here, he took that Sherman and pushed them up along the stone wall over here to get them in position to possibly shoot at the Pac 40s or to give some support fire down here. The Shermans over here, they pushed up to the ford. They dumped a bunch of machine gun shots down in here, and then in assaults, I was able to get 1 Faust shot off, and I bailed that tank. And then Jeff was able to kill the other MG. I failed my motivation to stay in, so I've pushed back to the row over here of the vineyard, and he's now contesting. I'm also contesting. What did you? Oh, that's right, and then the smoke. Yeah, and another thing, just leave, which is just ridiculous dice roll. Jeff tried to get the smoke here to take the Pac 40s out of the shooting for next turn, and he needed to just roll a 3 to drop the template down here. He ended up rolling a 1, and then 2 2s with the AOP reroll. So that wasn't good dice as far as that went, and it might end up making a difference. We'll have to wait and see. So we'll be back in a second for bottom of turn 5 for the Jaegers, see how this thing plays out. So we are back for the bottom of turn 5 for the Jaegers. Pretty good turn for us overall. So in the shooting phase, we actually didn't move anybody here except for that Yak Panther, and then we did a blitz move over here. But everybody else pretty much stayed still. So I guess we'll just start on this side. So we took the mortars and we ranged in down here. We got a couple of hits. We killed what? One. I think we killed one base from the mortar fire down here. I had the LG-40s. I blitzed up since they count as the man-packed heavy infantry team. You're able to blitz with them since they're not technically a gun team, I assume, because of movement. So I fired 4 shots down here. Didn't get any hits. These guys I just ended up going to ground with. The Yag Panther with the blitz move and a regular move, I pushed him up over there, and then I was able to get 1 shot down here, needing a 5. I hit him, and then I blew up that 1 Sherman. So that's 1 formation platoon taken out. And then down here, those 2 guys are left on the fort over there. I fired the Pack 40 down from over there. Unfortunately, I ended up biffing on my... No, I didn't blow it up. Got a double bail. Jeff passed his motivation to keep that guy on. But then down here with the Faust, I was able to bail him out, and then I just assaulted and was able to take out and capture both of those tanks. So that's what we're looking at for shooting, assaults, and everything else. Right now, Jeff has 1 platoon in good spirits with 3 guys over here. He has his command team and other infantry platoon over here, and then he has his artillery back there. So there's still a chance, he has a chance to make a push on at least both of these objectives. There's nothing really that solid holding them down. So we'll be back in a second for top of turn 6 for the Brits. So we are back for top of turn 6. In the movement phase, everybody stayed still. Jeff failed to unpin both of these platoons all over here. And then nothing happened as far as shooting. Everybody stayed on the ground except for the bombardment. Jeff decided to take a shot and take the Pack 40s out. He ranged in but failed to hit both of those. So we'll be back in a second for bottom of turn 6 for the Jaegers and see what we can do here. So we are back for the bottom of 6 here for the Jaegers. These guys, we just dug them in up over here. We ended up just keeping these guys where they were. The Yag Panther, I just ended up moving him over to that side of the hill. I was going to make a push over there, but I decided just to deal with it and try to get the platoons down here off the table. The mortar was able to pluck out 2 of the bases down here. It was the Piat. Oh, the Piat and 2 rifle teams, I believe is what it was, right? Yeah, so 3 bases got plucked out, but both these units are still in good spirits. LG-40s, I missed everything. The Flak Veerlings are still out of range. These guys I just stayed on the ground with, and then I wasn't able to do any wounds over here. I got 1 hit. Jeff ended up making a save. So that's what we're looking at here for bottom of 6. Jeff's up top 7. See what can happen. So you're back for top 7 for the Brits. This turn, Jeff was unable to unpin these guys. Down here was able to unpin this unit over here. They elected to stay dug in on the ground. Back over here, the artillery, since they were ranged in, they were able to get a hit on both Pack 40s. I made both my saves for him, failed 1, and he was able to pluck them out. So at the top of my turn, I'll have to roll motivation for these guys to see if they stay in the fight. So this is what we're looking at now for top turn 7. Be back in a second for bottom turn 7 of the Jaegers. We are back here for bottom of turn 7. Nothing that much going on. It's kind of just getting everybody set up for maybe some moves later in the game. So down here, the mortars dropped in. I was able to take out 2 of the rifle bases that were left there, pin the unit. Jeff was able to keep these guys alive with a couple saves from the mortars and the LG-40s. I did take the Yag Panther and move it up in there to get a shot off, but I ended up failing my firepower to pluck them out on that side. Over here, I had 3 hits. Jeff failed 2 saves, but I needed 6s to take them out with the machine gun and rifle teams from down here. So that's what we're looking at right now, going into the top of turn 8. We'll see. I'm probably going to start getting aggressive here and just, let Jeff get some miracle dice, which the way things are going for me might end up happening. So we'll be back in a second here for the top of turn 8. So we are back for top of turn 8. On this turn, Jeff decided he was able to unpin these guys. Well, they were unpinned, and he ended up moving them over into this building over here because these guys are within 16 to contest. For the artillery bombardment, back there, he was able to drop the template down, get a hit down here. I failed my save, but he failed his firepower, so they stayed in, but they are pinned. So this is what we're looking at right now for bottom of turn 8 coming up. Be back in a flash. So we are back now for bottom of turn 8. In this turn, we ended up pushing up and surrounding the house right there. We had the Yag Panther, all the guys down here. We moved up the LG-40s. On this side, we had the Pac 40 and the rifle team kind of just stay put over here, didn't do anything. In the shooting phase, the Pac 40 opened up. He was able to kill the knee mortar to put these guys in bad spirits. Back over there, if you guys can see, I was able to range in with the heavy mortars over there. I was able to kill one and pin that unit. Down here, we were able to assault the building. I killed the platoon commander, but the 1IC was able to break off and get away. So as of right now, Jeff has 2 platoons on the table. 1IC is always in good spirits. These guys now are down to 2 bases, so they're not in good spirits. So I guess we'll just do the roll on camera now to see if it goes on. So Jeff, where do you want it? Where's the hot spot on the table? Where do you want to do it?
Well, let's see if the commander unpins himself first. Yes, he does.
All right, so he's good. And then here you go, man.
He's got a deadly weapon. So
That rifle's going to do some damage here.
the artillery unpins.
Pins.
I'm on the roll.
There you go. Hope you didn't burn those forts too early. Let's see what happens there. They're out, so that's game over. So Jeff, thanks. It was a blast, man. Good one. We'll be back in a second to do the end of game recap. So we're back for the end of game recap over here. I'll make this one kind of short and sweet. This game was actually pretty fun the way it played out. So I think early on, the big thing, I had those trap teams and I had the Pac 40s in ambush. And it really came down to the Pac 40s getting that first volley off and killing 2 of the Fireflies on this side, and then killing all of the tank riders as well. Like, that was huge. Like, that kind of, me and Jeff were just talking about it off camera. Between that and the inability for Jeff to get dug in on the top of the hill and take a couple more wounds from rifles and stuff like that, it really thwarted the assault on this side altogether. I mean, those 2 Shermans were able to push up, but they really weren't supported, so it kind of stopped here at the river, and I don't think they really had a chance to get anything further without the infantry support on that side. Back up over here, and I think this side, this was, I think, the key part of the game was when I came in with the Yag Panther up on that hill and I missed my shot, and then Jeff was able to turn around and get 3 shots off, and he wasn't able to kill the Yag Panther, and then the return fire took out those 2 Fireflies. At that point, it really it slowed down the assault over here with just the 1 Sherman left, and then that rifle platoon getting pinned down and kind of getting surrounded without that tank support. It really put them in a bad spot over here, especially once the mortar came on and started getting ranged in. It was just tough going for these guys. I don't know, Jeff, you got any thoughts as far as how this game went out besides our bad dice in the times when we needed it most? But I think, you know what, I would say the 25 pounders, having them ranged in and doing the re-rolls, I think if you have you guys dug in and having to confirm your saves, it's not as bad as it would be. But if you're out of your foxholes, and I think it's going to be really, really rough if you're not able to dig in your guys and you get pinned down or for whatever reason. But staying dug in, I mean, I still took some wounds over here, but I think if I would have been out of foxholes or mobile and still under the template, if I was pinned, it could have been a lot worse than it was. So I think artillery, they feel like artillery now, absolutely, and they're not as devastating they are to platoons that are dug in. So don't be scared to stay dug in around your objectives as much as you used to, but definitely worry about moving around in the template range if it's still floating around out there, because it will tear you up pretty good. But yeah, that's pretty much what we're going to wrap up here with the endgame recap. So we got a Fallschirmjager victory, fun game. Thanks for Jeff to come out. This was probably the first good V4 game that I felt like actually good and had like a pretty decent amount of fun with. It was pretty good. So we'll do it again. Jeff and I, we like rolling some dice, so maybe we'll be back next week and give you guys another battle report. So catch you guys later.